In 1991, the WWF was at its height, with memorable characters and storylines. If you're of a certain vintage, like myself, you'll remember Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. Now, this isn't a wrestling channel, but go back and watch the WrestleMania 6 to see how popular these superstars were. We've already covered a WWF home console game on this channel, but this is a story of, in my opinion, the best arcade wrestling game. Here is Noob Games' review of WWF Wrestlefest. In 1989, Technos released WWF Superstars into the arcade. This is where you controlled a tag team on the way to face the Megabucks Tag Team Champions. It was well received and it is still a fun little game today. 2 years later, Technos upped the game by some distance. Wrestlefest enabled 4-player simultaneous play and 2 different modes. And as well as a tag team tournament mode, the new Royal Rumble section was introduced. More on these modes later. As you would expect, the roster was updated with 10 selectable characters and 2 boss characters. You can control Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, the Big Boss Man, Jake the Snake Roberts, Earthquake, Mr. Perfect, Sergeant Slaughter, and either the demolition characters Smash or Crush. The 2 boss characters are Legion of Doom members Hawk and Animal. Each superstar has their own style and finishing manoeuvre, which are brilliantly animated and faithful to the real-life counterparts. The graphics have had a major overhaul from the previous game, and they are big, colourful and sure to stand out in an arcade setting. Here is the Attract mode to give you some idea of the sights and sounds you would see upon approaching the cabinet. Like I mentioned earlier, the game is split into 2 rounds. You've got Saturday night's main event, where you chase the tag team titles, or the new mode, Royal Rumble. In the Royal Rumble, you select your wrestler, then after a nice entrance sequence, it's straight down to the battle. You start with 5 other wrestlers in the ring and then the battle becomes frantic. The goal here is to pin or make your opponent submit, or you can throw them over the top rope. the last one standing wins. Moves are easy enough to complete with only 2 buttons. B button kicks, A button punches, press them both together and you run, so you can do a running manoeuvre. When you start to do a bit of a grapple move, it's a button mash to damage your opponent or to throw them into the ropes. Each wrestler has their own move sets, and the signature move is completed whether in grapple or whether your opponent's energy is down and they are lying prone in the ring. The moves are easy to complete and a lot simpler than the mechanics of today's wrestling games. Your energy goes down as does your time. By adding an extra credit gives you an energy boost and it adds more time to your time limit as well. As wrestlers start getting eliminated, you get a nice introduction into the top right hand of the screen which shows you the next wrestler that's coming in. Once all the wrestlers have been dispatched, you are declared the winner. You get a credit sequence and you can enter your high score based on the number of wrestlers that you eliminated. It is easy to get eliminated in this game mode, so stay away from the ropes, as unless you are playing multiplayer, it's game over with no continues. Saturday night's main event sees you pick a combination of superstars, although if you pick Demolition they must be picked together, and then face off against the remaining characters for the right to face the Legion of Doom for the Tag Team Championship. The mechanics work much the same way as the Royal Rumble, however this time it's a 2v2 match. You beat your opponent to a pulp and hope you can pin them before their partner interferes. You can complete double team moves, and you can also throw your opponent to the outside, with the ultimate goal of winning the match. Your partner can power up, so if he gets a hot tag, he has invincibility for a short time. There are different arenas to play in and even a steel cage match, which adds to the variety of this mode. When you battle your way through to face the Legion of Doom, you get a brief promo by the champions, and then it's on to the match. Hawk and Adam are the strongest characters in the game and they will take some beating. They will eventually pull off the Doomsday Device finishing manoeuvre and then, unless you put some more money in, it's lights out. If you beat them, you get a video montage and then you get to defend the titles until you get defeated. This time you do get the chance to continue the game with extra credits. This was the first game that I was drawn to when I first visited an arcade. The big sprites, the sounds and the fact that I was a wrestling fan at the time, it was an instant draw for me. Whenever I fire up an arcade emulator, this is my go-to game for a quick blast. It is my favourite game that I play on my modded arcade 1-up cabinet as well, but more on this in a later video. Its pick up and play mechanics and ease of gameplay will keep you entertained for hours, and remember, those 24-inch pythons will go on forever, brother! Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Noob Game Reviews.